and I'm here today to show you about Tower Fantasy. Oh, hope is it gone? Oh, I'm back on Tower Fantasy. So I'm going to be talking about the basics today, basics of combat. So no advanced stuff, no actual crazy techniques or anything like that. That's for another video or another stream. But today I'm going to be showing you basically the stuff you need to know. And as you learn these basics, you can go on further to do advanced things and learn new things. But you first need to know this because a lot of people still either don't do it or just won't do it. All right, so yeah, this is Tower Fantasy. This is my character, see Coty, and yeah, I'm doing all right. I feel like I understand the combat system or whatever, but what I will do really firstly is I'm going to show people how to change their skin or their character because a lot of people still kind of don't really know. So, and this is also kind of to do with combat a little bit anyways. So the first thing I'll say is um you pretty much just click on them. Yeah. But after you've clicked on the character you want, because obviously you got a selection on if you've got the weapon, you can see them. You press activate and it should just show up. Now, mine won't show up because I've got a thing on where it says it doesn't show the semblance. So if you've got that on somehow, all you got to do is on the bottom right where it says hide similar appearance, you click that off, and then voila. When that pops up, you should have the character. So now as you can see now, I've got the character on. And now we're going to talk about kind of the combat and what's new and what's different type thing. So firstly, let's go to, I need to go to a cool area, an area where it's just peaceful and doesn't lag. Maybe. Let me just go to somewhere so I can just show you some things because it would be helpful if I could show you some stuff. Because I know in certain locations I lag to high heaven, and that's just because I'm on like maximum graphics right now. But I just want to obviously show that the game is pretty and awesome. Obviously, it's still in its beta stage, so it's not its final like result or anything. But there's still like it's just better to see things pretty. Hello, hey. So I hope you saw the simulant thing. I just did it at the start, or simulant or simulaclars. I can't pronounce it. I don't even know what it is. It's basically just skins in it. So all right. So what I'm gonna show you now is let me just pick Claudia. Okay, let me pick Claudia, and I'll pick the other skin because I prefer. Actually, no, we'll pick with this one because I want to see if something's different. So with Claudia, her main weapon obviously is the sword, right? All you're really getting is more quality like in the blade itself. Like it's just the the aura and the color of the slashing waves type thing. It's just a bit more like detail into it. That's basically what it is. Okay, so nothing's really different. Like all the moves as you see now will be pretty much the same. And the main thing you're really getting when you're using a skin or a character when you're fighting is the voice acting. When you do attacks and moves, you're seeing all of that basically. So that's basically what's happening. So that will happen quite often. But what's going to be a thing? So if I can just maybe lure this person here, might be able to have him. Nah, he's moving too fast for me to click on him. But really and truly, there's nothing really much different with using the skins. It just looks better. It's just quality wise. Sadly, you can't change the sword back into its first form because there's a first form to it. Because you only get this particular sword that I'm using now after you reach 3 stars for it. In terms of the power level of the weapons, it's great. Like you look in the bottom and it will say activates hitting with damage, 2 stars, visor, all this stuff. This is advanced stuff. I'm not going to go too much into this now later. It does help, but to be honest, in most kind of free to play and just chill play, you're not really going to need to worry about the stars too much. If you're trying to get to like rank one or deep in Bygone Phantasm, that's a different story. Then that stuff's going to be important because certain things need certain abilities. But that's what I'm trying to say today. We're not going to go too much into that. I'm going to basically just give you the basics. So after I've said that enough, let's find something to hit. So I think what we'll do is we'll go into the dimensional. We'll go in here, and then I'll show some things. It's probably the best way to show it, really. Visual, what game is that? So this is Tower of Fantasy. It's in the title, but it's basically, how to explain it. It's an MMO, but it's a hack and slash, really fast Honkai type gameplay, but an open world, basically. So you've got an open world kind of Genshin feel, but then you've got a really fast, slow down time thing, but in multiplayer state. Like, if you're not sure, just watch my other videos I've done in the game, and you'll see for yourself like what type of game it is. But I'm basically showing now. So you got normal minions, right? Normal minions, you guys have probably been dealing with them basically with no issue. Okay, as you know, when someone tries to attack you, when it shows the red eyes in its eye, if you press dodge, that effect will happen. When Phantasm comes up, it allows you to instantly do any of the two weapons you have on standby. It's special. Okay, so the scythe discharge skill literally just lifts them up and puts them on fire type thing. Okay, obviously the discharge the elemental skill for the scythe just spins around and does severe like barrier or shield breaks, but I'll go into that in a minute. So with Claudia's sword, when you do this, when it's at, I think it's 2 stars or 1 star, I don't remember, you get a stack at the bottom, and this stack goes up 3 times, increasing your damage, and this damage scales with all of your weapons. So really and truly, you want to spam that as much as you can. As soon as it comes back, you want to put it on again, and then if you're using another weapon, do this for a bit, and then obviously when it comes back, you just do the Claudia special again. Basically, you're pretty much spamming that, and then once it hits 3 stacks, then you just maintain it by charging it up. So that's kind of what you really want to do. But now I'm going to show you the barrier or the shield gameplay. One of the things that people in like how can I explain it? It's the operations. People don't use it in operations, and it's really, really, really annoying. So I'm gonna have to get through these minions because they don't matter. They honestly don't matter. So I'm literally just taking one tap because I know they can't kill me at the moment. That's why it's a perfect place to kind of show you guys certain stuff. But we need shields so I can show you. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to speed run these because they're just in the way. Oh yeah, also when you do Claudia special, you're immune to like all like control effects, which is really useful because if you know an attack is coming and you do that, you can abuse that quite a bit. I'm not used to using Claudia. Claudia feels different. Oh, you know what it is? It's lag. It's the lag. I need to lower the graphics. I'll probably lower the graphics in a minute, actually. I'll do it now because I can't really play because this game's really fast inputting, and if you try to do things, it just doesn't work well. It just feels horrible. So I'm just gonna drop everything so I can just feel better. There we go. So it won't look as nice, but I just have to just so I can show you this properly. Guys, so these guys have got physical, literal shields. But to be honest, if you break their shield, they go down. So that's another thing as well. Each monster you'll learn over time, but each monster will basically have a weakness. And if you abuse that weakness properly, like it will just really just help you out a lot. Like seriously. Because as you see, you break the shield, they go down, and then you got plenty of time to attack them. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he has a shield. I wish I knew that. He's gonna die before I can show you the shield mechanic. Yeah, he's gonna die before I can show you. All right, there is a monster I'm gonna proper do it on in a minute, anyways. But this is the only place I can think of where I can pretty much show you without any issues. Because actually, I could have taken you to operations and showed you actually. So I might, if I don't get it done in here properly, I'll take you to operations. So I really want to go through this today. Because it's so frustrating seeing it, and I don't mind that everyone's new, like that's just the way it is, but no one's properly talking about it yet, and because it's a new beta, it's a new game, so they're covering other things. So I'm just going to cover this so just people just know. So you can see my damage is going up because I'm doing the skill more often, and now I'm on 3 stacks. All right, this should be boss. There we go. This is boss. So I'm just gonna wait for the boss to get its shield, yeah, because it will do that. And then I'll start explaining the shield thing. Okay. Come on. I'm letting you hit me, but that's because I'm waiting for your shield. Come on. Do your barrier. Do your barrier. All right. I'm going to dodge your next attack because you're annoying. Okay, there we go. Cool. So as you see, the barrier is obviously quite a thing called dangers or maximus charging up. If I hit you with a normal sword, it doesn't take much shield. But if I use this, it takes a giant chunk. The reason it takes a giant chunk is because of this thing here. Now on the right, I'll go next to it as well so you can see it. On here it says A for shatter. No, that's A for shatter. Yeah. So that's the sword. But if you go to the scythe, it says SS and has a different number ratio, which is 14.30. Okay, so 8 to 14 is a lot. And as you can see, you saw how much like shield I took then. A lot of people do not go in with a barrier breaking weapon. They never ever do. And seriously, even if you're a healer or a support, you should have at least a barrier shattering weapon, because even though your weapon could be weak or you don't do damage, it's like Genshin. It does a different type of damage ratio to the shield. Like if you train up the weapon, what's going to happen is, you see it says 1000, 2000 damage. That's going to be higher if your weapon's done up. Fair enough, right? Because the shield halves damage anyways. But what you're really doing, even when the weapon is low, is damage to the shield. Whoops. So he can't hurt me anyways. But normally that move is really devastating. It will kill you. But that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people don't do that. So if you're gonna do it, for example, if I can switch, now I can't switch in combat, but for example, if I was gonna do it, I could do 2 healer items and a scythe, or 2 healer items and a spear or something. So actually, before, let me just, I want to see if I can run away from this for a second, so I could just show you some combinations, some examples. Because what people do is they go in full healer, or they go in healer with a sword, and some boss battles are so much easier if you can break the barrier. Like I can't stress this enough. Breaking the barrier and the mechanic in the game helps so much. So if I could do this in time now, actually, I'll try to do it really quickly on this. Don't know if I'll do it now because I'm a bit late on the attack. Nah, I'm too late. So as soon as the barrier disappears and it says maximum like that, you can no longer do things. But what I will show you though, if he picks me up, nah, he ain't me up. I was hoping he'll pick me up because then I could show you guys something, but he's not gonna do it, is he? Nah, he's not gonna do it. So I'll wait for his shield to come back, and then I'll show you. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And if what I'll do is I'll do another run, and I'll use a way weaker weapon that breaks barriers just to show you that it still breaks barriers. And you don't need like a level 80 or a level 100 scythe or whatever weapon to break a shield. Do you know what I mean? Because some people like, oh, like I haven't trained the weapon. That doesn't matter. When it comes to just breaking the shield, here we go. Here we go. All right, so his shield's up now. So I'll do special. Wait, what? What happened to my special? Bruh. Man cancelled my special, man. And now I'm not gonna make it. I'm legit not gonna make it. Ah, he cancelled the special. I don't believe it. I'm gonna fight it properly now. He's annoying me. You're annoying me now. You're annoyance. I should have picked a different monster. So annoying. We're fighting something else now. I'm gonna find something else to kill because he's just annoying. Like he did a stun to me and he cancelled my move, and I'm just like, what? But I think that's a glitch. You shouldn't really be able to get cancelled when you do that. All right, so let's just find someone else because I really want to do the barrier mechanic thing. So it's really important. Like it's really, really important. And then we'll talk about the resonances and all the helpful other stuff with it. Okay, so let's just go to a really basic operation, but an operation strong enough so they don't die instantly. So we'll go 4. 4 should be okay, hopefully. We'll go in solo. And all we need is something with a barrier. It could be anything. It really doesn't matter. but then I need to be able to stand there, so like when I'm explaining something, they don't kill me, because that could definitely happen. Right, so I don't know if you guys have got barriers. I don't remember, but I'll find out very quickly, I guess. Do you guys have barriers? Would you like to show me if you have a barrier? Guys, you have a barrier? Nah, I don't really do. Nah, okay. I know one thing that does, and it's here. Okay. There's a barrier, right? So let me just kill the minions. Wish I could heal the monsters, actually. So I could just keep reusing them. There we go. One more. Try not to do, yeah, I was trying not to do that move because I want to. All right, so you can see a gray bar underneath them. They've also got fire shields. So my scythe actually have is going to actually be quite terrible in these, but they're not going to be terrible because I'm in an OP dungeon. So keep that in mind, okay? But obviously they've got shields, and I don't have to worry about it running out, nothing. So I do that down. Yeah, I'm doing basically nothing. So even though this is a barrier specialized breaking weapon, I'm taking nothing, and I'm surprised it still does that. So that's cool. So let me see if I can run away and switch weapon. Because I was going to talk about the colorful elemental shields later, but a lot of people also ignore that as well. And that's actually really annoying. Cool. So they're going to reset, which is perfect. So this is going to be, I can show you everything now. So I should have done this earlier. There we go. So he'll reset. Because they reset, I can switch weapon. So what we'll do is we'll switch to... All right, so that's the healing setup that people mainly do, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. So we'll use this now, right? We'll keep the sci-fi because I want you guys to see the comparison. And then we'll use the spear. These are all barrier breaking weapons, okay? They've all got S tier and shatter. Shatter is for breaking shields, okay? It's an independent thing on its own. As far as I understand at the moment, it's still a new game. I could be wrong, but I'm going to show you the evidence in a minute. Okay, so these are the 3 barrier weapons, yeah? There is another one, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, so as you saw with the fire one, does nothing, right? Now, even though it's a barrier breaking special weapon, there's 2 things that's making them tanky. One is they're naturally resistant. Everything's resistant in here are fire. Okay, so that makes them tanky in general, so they don't do hardly any damage. The second thing is if they have a red shield, that they basically almost become immune to damage. They might as well be. So if I was to do Operation 6, my level operation, I would do nothing almost. It would just be pointless. I'd be just injuring the team, right? Guys, put your shield on. My God, thank you. Been waiting for you guys to put your shield on for days. So as you can see there, the gray bar is basically not going down. I'll do the big attack, which normally takes a lot of shield. Still barely nothing. So now if I go to a purple weapon, not even a legendary, and I do a skill, and I start hitting them, it's still doing, it's already half. It's not even the specialty, but it's already half. Like if I did the elemental skill, it would take way more. Okay, and now if I use ice, and then do this particular move here, it is resisting, but the barrier is breaking. But the barrier is breaking because it's ice versus fire. All right, so it's basically use any other element except for, you know, fire. Now it's resisting because again, in the domain, they are resistant to fire and ice. So ideally, you don't want to do that. So why the Thunder Spear works so great in here is because it's the one that's not being, you know, resisted. Okay. So the best option in here is use this, and you'll just get through the shields way quicker. And it just makes way better work on them. Like it just does better. And obviously if you could just do this as a burst because it's a fire shield, you can get away with an ice thing just to break the shield because it will work still. But fire won't because there's a double resistance to it. All right, so I don't want to kill them. because we're still using them as test dummies to show you off for that. So what I'm trying to get at now, which I'm going to talk about, the thing I said I was going to talk about in a minute, is all right, hopefully they'll leave me alone now because I'm actually nearly dead. I'm not, yeah, I am nearly dead. Which is when people come in as healers, right? They come in something like this, and this is a good healer build. Like seriously, it's really good. You got a barrier up, and you got healer resonance, and this weapon particularly here charges you up really fast, and it hits multiple times, and it also generate orbs just naturally on one star when you're just hitting normally. It's a great setup for healing, but my problem is that if your team isn't using at least three really good main shatter weapons, like weakness, like everyone's using thunder spears, for example, for this operation, it's going to be tough. The only time you'll get away with this is if all three people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. If they're not, and someone is slacking, or they just don't know the game, or they haven't watched this stream or this video, then this is where you come in. And this is what I suggest. If you're going to go as healer, then fine, but put a barrier weapon on, okay? You can use a spear. You can use the frosty spear. The only reasons frost spear is shatter B is because for this particular weapon, because it has no star system on it or no refinability on it, the blue weapons, I would have to say you would have to level up, okay? You wouldn't really be able to get away with it just because B shatter is really too low. To be honest, the Claudia sword might even end up being good. We'll test it out anyways. We'll put it on just to see if it works still, but it shouldn't do because the shatter level and the rank level is just way too low. But it is a shatter weapon. The only other weapons that are shatter is Terminator, which is really surprising. It's an SS. So if you want to go healer and you want to stand back and be safe and actually provide breaking shield, this weapon is perfect for breaking shields. It is insane. Insane. Okay, especially if you got a max refine, which to be honest, as a free to play, it is very easy to pull this off. Very, very easy to pull it off. But you do want to read through the stars because the stars will tell you how to get that better shatter break rate type thing. Because just shooting it's not enough. You've got to do things in order to make it SS shatter. Do you know what I mean? It's like so there we go. So in 10 seconds upon switching, the weapon increases damage, normal attack, and shatter by 60%. So that's what it's saying. You have to switch to it and then use it, and then you've got some time to use it before that runs out. That's how you shatter with that. But it isn't ice, and ice is resistant in here, so it's not going to be super amazing, but it's still going to be good. And then hammer is also a shatter. It is A tier, at maximum refined, but it's still a shatter weapon. So if you're desperate and you've got no other weapon, hammers is also good. If you want to use physical and thunder, so this domain is physical and thunder, that's what you want to use in this one. Then shatter for here would be the chakram. The chakram is a great weapon for shattering. It's not amazing, but A is still decent. And with the certain moves with this disc, it will basically carry you and break shields for you. So if you're desperate and Thunderseer just isn't doing it, then Chakram's your next best thing if you have it. But it is a legendary weapon. So if the RNG Jesus or the Roll God bless you with this weapon, then go ahead and use it. Otherwise, you ain't really got a choice. Obviously, the guns aren't really good. You wouldn't use that. And that's it. That's honestly it. You could kind of get away with the sword, but kind of not. I don't really suggest it. That weapon's literally for damaging and buffing yourself. Okay, so we're just gonna test really quickly if we can get away with using a blue spear. See if we can break their shield still. But I feel like it can do it, but I feel like what's going to happen is it's not going to do it because that the blue weapons, the only downside to the blue weapons is you have to level them up. With purple you can because they hold their shatter rank level, but with the blue weapons it's just a different story. They're just terrible basically. But if you're desperate and you've happened to level it up, then go ahead. So we'll see now. Well, when they do the thing. So here we go. So you switch to it like this, and then you just mash up their shield in it. And because it shoots so damn fast, and it's just really relaxing and like not relaxing, sorry. It's chilled. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about dodging or anything because you're just so far away. Do you know what I mean? And since you're a healer, you'll charge often and you'll be able to do this more often. Do you know what I mean? So it'll just work. And if you change into this, if you can pull it off, if you're back off, you can do this, which increases the shatter rate by a lot. So yeah, it's good, even though, and that's a really low level weapon. And look at the shatter rate. The shatter rate is still decent for a weapon. I have not done up barely nothing to it. I've done nothing to the Terminator, honestly. So the Ice Spear, different story. Let's see how the Ice Spear does on the shields now. Whoops. So the Ice Spear works basically the same as the Thunder. It's just a different element and weaker. So what it's showing me really is that the shield breaking rate is relatively nearly the same as the fire scythe, but that's because it's just that weak. If it was stronger and done up, I think it'd actually be alright. It'd be probably on par with the Thunder Spear, but not completely on par because obviously it's resistant in it. Like I've said a few times already. I'm gonna die, man. I'm gonna go now. Without healing resonance, healing is terrible. Ah, did I burn to death? It doesn't matter, anyways. It gets to reset them in it. That's what I want to do. So, all right. So we've talked about the shatter enough now. So I hope you guys understand that already. You pretty much get what you need. Um, if you really want to, because that was a level 40 and that gun did really well in this dungeon. It's still an Operation 4. So that did amazingly. So if that was fully done up, maxed out, whatever, that would probably destroy shields. And that's the only weapon in purple as well that has an SS tier in breaking. The only other thing that I know is SS tier is the scythe, and the scythe doesn't start SS. It only goes SS when it goes 1 star. Do you know what I mean? So, so that's basically saying that this purple gun weapon is better than the scythe if you don't have 1 star on the scythe. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But you do need to master the gun and learn the gun. It isn't just you shoot and it breaks. You've got to learn how to use it so you can be efficient to it. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the resonances. Okay. The resonances are really simple. If you've played Genshin Impact, it's kind of similar to that, but instead of having characters in there, you've got certain weapons on you. Having certain weapons in your inventory increases your damage. And on top of that, if you've got the whole team on the same resonance, it increases that particular resonance. So, for example, it says here, clips 2 DPS type weapons to activate increase final damage by 10%, which in team play is further increased by 40%. What that means is your final damage is your final hit. So let me show you what I mean by final damage really quickly. So final damage in this game is basically, oh wait, crap weapons, 1 second. Let me put my good weapons back on. This is a, so I could show you with this, but I'd rather just show you with weapons I've got. So let me just show you with the other weapons. All right, let me just switch. That's gonna be no good, isn't it? Nah, I don't want those on. So change the blade. That's fine. And then we'll put healing, okay? So these are 2. Yeah, the resonance is on. So we'll start with DPS and we'll show you the final damage thing. Because a lot of people get confused of what the hell is final damage? What does that even mean? Final damage is kind of literal, which is you do this, you'll get all these little hits. Whoops, wrong weapon. You'll get all these little hits like this, and it's the final hit. That final hit there where it says 12k, that's your final damage. Okay, that's what's getting increased. Now, if you get everyone in the party with that resonance on, then you do ridiculous damage, basically. That's basically what happens. So if you want to go crazy, get glass cannon in your team and all go in with that, you can definitely do that and get away with it for sure. You can definitely do that. But here's my problem with that. If you're going to go in full DPS, resonance, and kick ass, it works, but it also means you have to be skillful, okay? Because you have to dodge. You have to activate resonance, the Phantasium and all that stuff. You got to do things right. Otherwise, you're just going to get yourself killed. Everyone's going to get annoyed in the party. I don't really suggest it, but you're really good at the game. and your DPS is amazing, and you're rocking, let me show you my gear, and you're rocking like, several legendaries, all purples, all starred up, go for it. All right, go for it. But if not, don't do it. Okay. Next one is the tanking thing. Now, a lot of people don't really know to tank in this game, and it's a bit frustrating, but it's okay. Like, people will learn eventually. It's a new game. It's a new game, yeah. But when you're tanking, my suggestions for this is, I don't think I've got any. I don't really have many tanking weapons, man, at all. I think I've just got. Do I just have the two? No way. I have just the two. One sec. One second. I do only have two tangle weapons. I don't see another one. No way. So I only have two. So I can only just about show you this because I don't have the humor shield. And that's literally the main tanking thing. But when you put on two tank weapons, you get a fortitude buff. Now you can go a whole team with this. If you want survivability and you don't mind doing it slowly, if you put all of this on, it's going to help you out. It's going to mess up the aggro bit because obviously the person should get more aggro. Um, Shatter by 60% as well, which is pretty damn helpful. So you could get a really weak weapon, do tanking, and help your shatter go up. So if you really want to be helpful on a team and you're super weak and you're getting carried, I feel like tank or fortitude resonance is the best resonance to use if you're level 20 and your friends are 50. Okay, because one, you'll live longer because your defense is higher, and two, you're helping out breaking the shield, which literally, because you're low damage, that's the best thing you could ever do. Because if the shield on the boss breaks, he goes down, and then the main DPS people can kick ass more efficiently. All right. But obviously, if you get the whole team like this and buff the resonance, then, you know. Actually, does it do that? Am I thinking that's the same as DPS? Equip two defense types, increase damage reduction, yeah, which is your defense, shatter by 60%, aggro by 600%, further boost this by 20%. In team play, this is further boosted by 20%. Okay, cool. So there is a stacking thing where if everyone wears it, they get boosted. So it is like the DPS one. So yeah, if you want to slow run and you want to stay alive and you're having trouble living, that's also a thing. You can put everyone as tank and you'll win and you'll live. You should do, but yeah, it's just gonna take you a while probably because you're not getting as much damage as you would get from obviously the DPS resonance. Okay. The last one, not the last one, the other one is, if I can do it right. There we go. No resonance. No resonance is created when you have one DPS, one healing, and one tank item. And it's pretty much again, it's increased final damage by 5%, so it's lower with no weapon resonance, and then it's further increased by 20%. It's basically a weaker version of the DPS resonance, which I don't really suggest. The only time I'd say it'd be helpful is if you have a really, really specific comp where certain weapons support other weapons and it just buffs each other so well and effectively, then it just works. I'm not going to go into it now because dissonance, this particular thing, you can use it and it's a really good thing to use if you use correctly, but it's complex to use it. And I don't want to make this stream too long, so we're not going to go into that today, okay? But for a beginner, I suggest just avoiding this the best you can. Don't really use it unless you really have to, okay? And now the last one is what I'm specialized in is healing resonance. Now, healing resonance, you don't need to have three things on, but like I said, some people do it like this. My suggestion is if you don't have good teamwork or communication and you're going in with randomers, then go ahead and use a piercing or a shatter weapon. Like I've said at the start of the video or stream, okay? But if you're in a good team and everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, then go full healer and you can do this because this counts as a healing weapon. It only heals on 1 star because your normal attacks now turn into, healing orbs or whatever, and then they randomly come out. But otherwise, the only other thing that this thing does is, I'll show you now. The only other thing that this shield thing does, or this Q thing does, is it provides you a force field or temporary health. So if you look in the bottom of the screen down here, you're going to see now that I'm going to get temporary health. There you go. It's very, very small. and you think it's quite pointless. But if you want to make that bigger, what a lot of people don't know, if you want to make that bar so much bigger, is I could show you, I guess, is you charge it up for a special. It's gonna be a bit of time because I need to wait 70 seconds, man. So I'll explain some stuff while we're waiting. But basically, if you want to use that, then what you want to do is you want to get the special up to maximum as it is now. So basically, you want to do this and then use the shield, because if you do that whilst using the shield, what that's gonna do is it's gonna buff the temporary bar and make it a lot higher. And a lot of people don't know that, and that can be a lifesaver. Deep plunge. What? Deep plunge. You only get deep plunge when you do this. And then even when you do that, you don't get it. So what the hell? How did I get deep? Apparently I died of falling damage. That's so buggy. It's lucky it's a beta in it. It's lucky that it's a beta. But yeah. Hopefully I can show you now. Is it ready? 8 seconds. So it's going to be ready soon. Cool. So I'll show you now that you can get really big temporary health now. And a lot of people that if you're a healer, this is something you need to know really and truly. All right. So we're going to do it. There you go. And then we do this. And there you go. So the bar is a bit bigger, but not much bigger. And I think it has something to do with my max HP or whatever. I feel like if your HP is lower, then it takes up more. But because I'm on full health, I think the percentage is just weaker in general. But that's how you do it, basically. You do that, and then you do the other one. And it also causes okay damage, but it really depends on your armor. Okay, so that's healing resonance. Healing just goes up really, really high, basically. If you have loads of people healers in your team, I guess you could become immortal. But I wouldn't suggest a full team of healers. I really, really wouldn't. It's not necessary. It's just not. You'd just be taking longer than you is, because the weapons themselves are not particularly strong. They're just not. They're really not. Okay, cool. So the only thing I want to talk about now, since I've gone through the basics now, really is how to use the weapons. Okay, so I've nearly got every single weapon except for the human weapon. So sadly, I won't be able to walk you through that, but I'll take you through the ones I know. I'm only going to teach you the helpful things because there's too many weapons, and I want to keep this short still. So the thunder staff, you got a basic combo that shoots out, lightning or whatever. The animation is different with different characters, but if you just do a tap, 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 it will just do a geo hyperstatus thing. Only if you hold it there, because otherwise the lightning just goes spread, as you saw. So if I do this 3 hit attacks and then hold it, it does that and it takes stamina. Why didn't it not show the cube? What the? Do that again. Where's the cube, man? Show us the cube. There we go. You get that cube if you hold it down. If you press dodge on its own and attack, it shows a thunder out like that. A lot of people don't use that attack. That attack is actually really devastating and really good, and it lasts a very long time. Not only that, that move also heals every time you do it. So if, for example, you've done this heal and your charge isn't available and your team desperately needs heals, just doing, just doing that on a spam can heal them. It's like, depending on your healing and your stats or whatever, but I can do 10k on that. That's helpful. It is really a big lifesaver. If you're a healer or you're thinking of becoming one, learn that move. This doesn't happen with, you can't heal with that move with this staff though. But this staff has different abilities when you get the stars up. Like, for example, when this thing comes out, not only does it heal you automatically or heals the person that's on the lowest HP, it also charges your special. Because you can see on the bottom right of my screen now, this is getting charged up. So yeah, that happens. Okay, so that's really amazing if you've got it. But again, I'm not gonna get excited and tell you about legendary weapons because it's only if you get them. Like, if you're unlucky, then you don't get them. The attacks are the same as the thunder one, pretty much. It's just ice version. Obviously, you can do a plunged one, and it should go into the enemy you've locked onto as a position. If it's not, it comes down on your spot. You can also do a teleport and an attack, and that's it really and truly. There's nothing really to talk about. Okay, Then we've got the cube, which is your final healing weapon of the closed beta. There are going to be other ones, but these are what we got so far. When you do ultimate, you got this going around you. As long as you don't only do normal attacks, all of those things going around you will hit the opponents 24/7. It will basically be spammed and attack all the time. Okay, and it's really, 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 really good. So yeah, my suggestion is just keep those going around you as long as you possible, and then just rack up charge, rack up damage, and also help you get your heals palm orbs coming out as well. The cube is really, really good. People really sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. It's amazing. Its elemental skill gives you a barrier or temporary health. So it will just soak up damage. If you're on lower HP, it should give you more. Because I've seen it be really chunky before where it just does like a really big part and it just but the thing is it doesn't last long. So it's a moment where if a boss is going to hit you or your whole team and you know it's probably death and you bring that up last second, you can save the life. That's how you use it. It's not just throwing it on, it's throwing it on at the right moment. So save it and know the moment for it. Okay, so that's all the healing weapons basically. That's that. No problems there. Then you've got, all right, so we got sword, claymore, and we'll go guns. Okay. Sword, pretty straightforward. It's a quick combo move. You kind of get it at the start of the game. It doesn't change much, to be honest. If you press a back dodge and attack, it lifts you in the air or lifts your opponent in the air. If you attack but hold it down, it also does it as well. And if you hold it, if you keep pressing tap and attack whilst in the air, you do like a shadow combo slash thing, and the ending thing going like a dark. Well, the ending going slashing down, that move, I mean, okay. But you have another one which, if you hold it down, it does that down. So it does a combo, and then the ending slash does big damage. That particular move scales with height. So the higher you are, if you're skillful enough, and then you do it, the more damage you're gonna cause. A lot of damage. Because unlike another game, the plunge damage, it goes up the higher you are, but in this game, you can go so much higher because it scales way much higher with the height. Like you can go really high. But the problem is you can put all the commitment into that. But if you're gonna do that, you have to have certain armor stats. And what I mean by that is you have to have high attack and high crit rate for it to be worth it, because otherwise you're just wasting time setting yourself up for it. For the sword, I wouldn't do it for, but for maybe the claymore or the hammer, different story. Okay. The only other thing you need to know about the sword is when you got it to 1 star or 2, I don't remember, but you'll know once you get it. When you do this, this starts stacking damage, but it only stacks damage when you hit. Okay. So when you get the sword and you get the star up, you want to be spamming this 24/7 because it scales with all your weapons, increases your damage, and it's really damn helpful. It's amazing. It's a weapon banner thing for a reason. Okay. So use it, do it, whatever you want to do. It's a good weapon. Okay. Right. Guns. If you hold it down, you basically turn it into a pew pew. It is kind of cool that they've done this. Obviously, this takes stamina, so the more mushrooms and exploration you've done, the longer you can shoot like this. I can shoot like this for quite a while now, but before it was literally like just 2 seconds and it would stop. Do you know what I mean? If you dodge and attack, it lifts you up, and then you can spin attack. This move is really devastating as well. It actually takes a lot of damage. Obviously, you have to do up your guns to get in certain things because there's crit rate and stars and stuff like that really power up this gun. This gun is even meta in Bygone Phantasm, which is this game's version of Spiral Abyss. When you do this, it basically shoots in here and just does damage basically and reflects or whatever. And then obviously it's got an elemental discharge skill, which is like an electrical blast. Nothing really to talk about too much. Um, and that's it really, truly. Like nothing really much to talk about. Obviously, it's got a normal combo as well that kind of just shoots everywhere too, but also forward, and that end hit is also really devastating also. But other than that, I haven't really got much to add to it, and I've not used it very much. The Claymore, I actually hated this weapon at the start, but it's actually really good. Especially if you get the stars on it, it helps with survivability, it gives you heals, it also gives you a shield. It's really amazing, but only when you've got the stars in it. You don't start with this stuff at all. Okay, so Obviously, normal attack is this where you just keep spamming it and that will happen. Okay, that's basically the full combo. Okay, but if you do 2 attacks, it brings you up. And you got to get used to this because then you got to go back to tapping afterwards and then it does a combo. Because if you do this attack, and then hold up, then you'll just drop down because you feel like with some weapons like the sword, or you do it and you hold up, it goes into that. You know what I mean? So if you use a sword a lot, then it's very easy to not get used to it basically. So if you get used to it, you'll be fine. But you can always hold down attack and do an end thing as well and whatever. It takes getting used to. Personally, maybe you're fine with it, but it's different for me. If you hold still and hold a weapon, then you'll do a spin attack. If you don't recognize this weapon, it's in a lot of games. A lot of games. Very effective in PvP if done correctly. And it's also a move. This is really good for shield breaking and hitting a lot of enemies in the line because it's penetrative. All right. So if you've got a lot of mobs and they're all lined up and they're all like put in an area, then just do that and your DPS in runs will just go really high. It really, really will do. It's great for that. It's really damaging and it's really great for breaking shields. It's a very, very amazing move. Its discharge does like an ice thing that makes it spread out. If I put the staff on, I can charge the specials and show you. But again, I feel like this stream's going to be too long, so I'm going to leave it for now. If it's important, I'll do it. But right now, it just does a ice spike bicycle thing. It blocks you in. It can get your allies killed. So be careful when you do it because if they're trying to dodge an attack and you do an ice move as well, yeah, you could kill them. But otherwise, it's really damaging and it can trap monsters, bots. And if you've got the tornado relic, the thunder tornado one, if you do the ice move and then do the tornado, it keeps the tornado in, which makes it tick and hit more because it has nowhere to move. It's an awesome combination for that too. Okay. Next weapons. We will scythe, chakrams, whatever it's called. And is it hammer? Do we have hammer time? No, we'll do both. We're going through all the legendaries kind of weapons first. Okay, scythe, you've seen already. SS tier on 1 star and breaking weapons. Obviously, if you just keep attacking, this weapon has the longest normal attack combo out of all the weapons, I feel. That was just tapping all of it. I didn't hold or anything. That's the whole combo. It's crazy. Okay. But very rarely will you use that because it's not really effective. It takes too much time and it's not helpful. But where it is helpful when you do it is on certain monsters like Frostbot or Icebot, it's called, where when you go in the air and you attack like this, he's attacking low and you'll avoid a lot of the attacks. So that's where that becomes useful. Okay. So also with the spear, I mean the scythe, for some reason you burn yourself. Like I never got that, but yeah, you just burn yourself. Just randomly. Like there's grass here, but I'm on concrete right now. And you'll just set yourself on fire. So I don't know if that's a bug or not, but it seems like it. But yeah, like I don't know what to say. It's just a bit silly. So 1 second, I just forgot that I gotta share this in the official tower server thingy. I haven't done that yet. 2 seconds. Completely forgot that I was supposed to share the stream. Cool. Right. So that's the whole combo thing. Right, so, but you'll rarely do that move. The move you'll do for the scythe is you'll do a dash and a spin. Okay, because it's quite a high barrier damage move. It does cost a dodge for you to do it. And Bygone Phantasm is really helpful because not only you're dodging and activating Phantasium a lot, but you're also attacking at the same time. It's really helpful for that. It's basically a weaker version of the elemental skill, but the elemental skill does much bigger, much more damage, and then it has a cooldown. This one you can spam this effectively. Doesn't do as much, but it's still really damaging. That's one of the moves you'll be doing a lot with this. It's quicker and it's better. The other move is you'll do 2 attacks until you spin, and then you hold down the move, and it does another spin attack. All the spin attacks are barrier charge. I mean, good barrier attacking skills. So attack until you spin, hold it down, and do it. Okay, because if you do 2 slashes and hold it, whoops, sorry, I did it too many times there. 2 attacks and hold it, nothing will happen. And it took me time to get used to this, and it just stops the combo, and it's awkward. So wait until you spin, then hold it down. That's how I indication of it. Because if you try to count how many times you're attacking, it might just mess you up. Okay. Another one's good as well is the slam down, but again, that's situational. And to be honest, the amount of barrier damage that takes, you're still better than just using this. To be honest, you're better using that. In all honesty, that's how I feel. How I've used it so far. The discharge skill is really effective on this weapon. Spam it as much as you can because it just hits the whole area with fire. And if you've got the spear, if you keep, sorry, I keep calling it spear. If you got the siphon still, then you still get that barrier type damage, attacking type thing. So when you have it on, if you're trying to break a barrier, try to keep the scythe on, because a lot of people, they do the special and they switch, but what they don't notice is that they're losing barrier damage because the weapon's not on. If the weapon's not on, you ain't getting that barrier damage. So keep it on. Okay, so another thing is the chakrams. Chakrams is good. It's like a range kind of physical weapon. Well, that's exactly what it is. The difference with this weapon is you throw it forward like a range and it comes back to you. So you're basically hitting your target twice, which is awesome. If you train this weapon up good, it's really, really awesome. When you do normal attack as well, you do 3 discs, but not 3 discs. You do like 5. Is it 5? Yeah, it's 5. You do 5 discs. That's only really good, really close range, because as you can see, as it goes out, it splits off and it will hit multiple targets, but each disc is low damage. If you do it really close range, all of those discs hit and you do multiple hits, and it's really amazing. Okay, so keep that in mind when doing things. So yeah, you've got that. You can kind of just spam that, and it's really good to do. There's no stamina on it as well. That's what makes it devastating too. And it's just an amazing weapon. It really is. Obviously, if you hold down charge, you do like a thing, like a charge hit, but you have to be locked on, otherwise it just goes randomly into the ether. It's terrible. It just goes somewhere else. It hits nothing. So make sure you lock first. Okay, and I'll show you how to lock on targets in a bit. But lock on your targets with this weapon. It's really important. You can jump and do it, but then this takes stamina. So does the charge version. I'm not sure really why you would do this. I guess you would do it to dodge certain attacks maybe sometimes. But that's it really and truly. There isn't anything else, to be honest. I guess you could do dash and this, which is okay. But it's just a power hit basically. That's all it is. And it still doesn't come back. You know it's not a normal attack because normal attacks come back, but the dash one doesn't. But it is more powerful. But again, I wouldn't really use it a lot. Your main butter skill is this move. If the shield is broken or you know your target is going to be still, PvP and PvE, that's the best time to do that move. If they move, that move is wasted. Okay, so make sure your target isn't going to move for whatever reason. Okay, it's great just after breaking the shield or instantly in a Fantasia or Fantasia. Okay, don't waste that move. It's an amazing move. If you want to do that move and then switch to the scythe, then you increase the barrier damage. And since it's hitting so often and so quickly, it becomes insane. They might change that, to be honest, because that seems a bit broken, but it's amazing. Okay, in PvP, it's amazing, but you have to make sure they're not going anywhere. Otherwise, it's very easy to dodge. It's very easy to avoid. So that's how you do that. Okay. Other than that, there's nothing really much to talk about with this weapon. It's pretty much self-explanatory. This weapon I got literally an hour ago. So I have not had really chance to use this. I feel like it's going to be very similar to maybe the Firebone, maybe not. I don't know, but I'll show you the combo. So the combo is literally just shooting like this, normal hits, and then you got like a final hit, which is a charge shot. Okay, this is a DPS weapon, so if you scale it and do it right, you'll do a lot of damage from a distance. If you do double attacks, if I remember rightly, you do a charge attack, which does that move on the floor, and you can pretty much spam that more or less. If you get stars, I believe it's longer, which is helpful because that's really short at the moment. Then you've got the charge shot thing, which you can do that, which does like 3 arrows. Again, anything that does triple hits, if you get close enough and the monster or boss is wide enough, then all 3 of those hits will hit, and that will be really devastating. The bow also has a lot of knockbacks. It also keeps you away. In PvE, keeps people away from you, and also does it to monsters or mobs as well. Okay. But other than that, I've got nothing really else to show you. Like this, the special for this move is literally the bigger version of that, and it's longer as well. That's it, really. You can do like a Breath of the Wild, a charge up and hold up, and obviously depending on your stamina, is how long you can do this for. For me, I could feel like I could do this for days and just chill here. And obviously, the charge shot is quite devastating. But with charge shot or arrow charge shot, if you aim for the head, you do a lot more damage. Okay, so if you're gonna think of doing bow main time or full time as a main thing that you wish to do, then go ahead and aim for the head. Okay, because you will win in DPS if you're really good at doing it. I don't know if you'll ever have time to charge to full power, to be honest, because I don't know if it's really worth it, but you tell me. Okay, so we're almost through all the weapons. Remember, we only go through weapons, basic technique, all that stuff today, so that's what we're going through, really. All right, so we'll put the cannon on because it's the only one of its type effectively. No, not that. Where's my dual-wielded legendary? There we go. Dual-wielded legendaries. And I think that's all the legendaries except for the humor weapon, which I don't have. So, yeah. Oh, no, wait, I've got this. So what I'll do is I'll do all the legendaries first. So where is the other weapon I just picked up? Is it gone? No, okay, I think I'm out. I think I'm out of legendaries. So what we'll do is we'll do spear here. Cool. So spear again, barrier breaking weapon. PvP wise, this particularly the dash kick thing, really effective, really annoying, can interrupt, disable them. It's a 1 second stun, but that right time and spammed enough can really mess up your opponent. Okay, so if you really want to do spear, the purple spear, don't sleep on it. It's really good. If you do a dash back and do this, you do like a slam down, people don't use that. That's a really, really good barrier breaking move. But to do it, you have to dash back and attack. You can't do a dash to the side because dashing to the side or directional does the kick. And that's not a good barrier weapon break. But what it is it's great for stunning monsters and players. Okay, then you've got the spear move that makes you go up. Amazing barrier breaking move. However, you have to be really, really close range, and then it's most of the time single target. You can hit multiple, but personally, it's not very good. Where this weapon shines, and what a lot of people forget about this weapon, which makes it godly, is the elemental discharge, where you throw it. How it works is the further you are away from your target, the more damage you do. It's also a severe barrier damage as well. It's insane. That move alone, I feel like is SS tier. Just that on its own, like Bygone Phantasm, because it's an area hit as well. It's just so damn good. Okay, if you don't have any legendaries, bring the spear, get used to it, and tactically use it right because it's just amazing. Okay, especially if you're a long ranger and whatever. Like if it's a good combination with bows, anything long range or the cube and spear or something. Because spear and the bow is a DPS weapon, so that will give you DPS resonance. Charge it up. Since you're already far away, just throw the spear from a distance. You'll do stupid damage. All right. If you can manipulate charging up your weapon really quickly, you can spam throwing the spear. I mean, spam it. PvE, absolutely amazing purple weapon. The best purple weapon, in my opinion, in the game. Okay. Or SR weapon in the game. So, yeah. So that's it, really and truly. The normal combo is pretty cool. Obviously, you can do that to sort of going up with it, and then you can do a combo in the air. Obviously, that takes stamina, but then you can just stay up here as long as you want, as long as your opponent doesn't get out of it, basically. And then if you hold down, you do a charge attack. Pretty much simple. Nothing really to add. Oh yeah, and then you've got the charge attack. So you do 3 hits, and then it does like a double spear thing. It's a nice charge hit, barrier breaking move, but it's not that amazing. It is a purple weapon, anyways. Okay, dual wield, very quick, awesome looking, amazing weapon. Personally, I've not used it very much. It's very good at, charging your weapons and stuff. That's what it is good at. Oh wait, sorry guys. I just realized that I stopped the stream, and if you guys have said anything, I've not seen it. But yeah, it's good at charging your weapons up quickly and inflicting damage. Any weapon, the rule of thumb is any weapon that charges your weapons tends to be a good DPS weapon or good damage weapon. Okay. If you attack from behind, I think with the stars go up, I believe you do more damage, but don't quote me on that. And then obviously you got the move where if you're close enough, you do these moves and it's hits. I feel like that move is not that great. It just spreads out a bit. It can be good, but I personally don't like it. Um, you got aerial attacks as well, which is okay. And obviously, if you jump up, then you do like a shadow hit. The moves look really awesome. I would love to see someone build this correctly. I haven't really got much to say about this because I just found it very underwhelming. It just looks cool, but I don't think it's effective in a lot of regards. But again, I've not tried building it correctly though, so it could be amazing. I can't remember the discharge for it. I think the discharge is a spin attack or something. I can't remember. We'll skip it for now, but I can't remember. Obviously, I've shown you this weapon already. Pretty much, you just spam this all the time, pretty much, because it's just devastating. It's got crazy area hits. It's great on big monsters as well, because it hits multiple times. If you do hold down the charge, it does like a Geodaddy Zhongli posting thing, but it lasts a lot shorter. It doesn't last long at all. But it's great extra DPS. You can go in here and then attack some more as well. Attack from that top of that pillar. So really and truly, if you want to really maximize some damage, what you could do is do that, and then obviously do that. If you jump and do that as well, you do like a shot thing that homes onto the target. But it also dispels your things that go around you when you do an elemental burst. So do remember that. Other than that, that's it. And then the elemental skill gives you a shield, as I told you earlier. So yeah, that weapon's pretty much clear. Nothing really much to talk about on that. Okay, hammer, and I'm not going to talk about the staffs. I pretty much showed you the staffs already, to be honest. The staffs are pretty much cool and done. And then the blue weapons are pretty much similar to the thunder weapons, so I haven't really got much to add onto them. It's just that as soon as possible, stop using them. there's like just be done with it. So that's really it, guys. That's the basics. The only thing left is really the hammer, which I'll show you quickly. The hammer's basic attack is obviously really slow. You spin, you hit the floor, that's it. If you hold down the charge weapon button, then you charge up. You have a different aura, like 3 levels of auras. At maximum, you do devastating damage, and the ice spreads a little bit. If you jump up and do this, then you kind of do it with a bigger spread. If you dodge, you do that, which is pretty cool. I like the effect of that, which does the spread again. It's a lot of spreading with the hammer, and it is pretty damn cool. I'm very surprised there's no spin attack with it, unless there is, and I've just forgotten. You can, if you do a little jump, I think you do. There we go. If you do a little jump, you do a little version of that instead of the full version. But when I want to do it, I find it hard to do it. I do it a lot when I don't want to do it. But yeah, it turns into like a pogo hit, and it's like another attack. But I really do think it's weaker, and it's not helpful. Then you can do this move, which I don't actually remember what it does. It just makes your hammer really steamy in it. So I think it just gives it more damage. Oh, it changes the combo. That's it. So you can do that move. So you get new moves, and I think you get more damage. And I think that's what it's about. And then you can do that, which again, nobody does this. It's like a long range ice move, and it hits multiple enemies. It's great. A lot of the back dodge attack animations are really strong, really effective. So don't forget your back dodge. Like if you ever need a range attack for whatever reason, just use it. It's really, really good. Okay, so that's it, guys. Main things to take for this on the overview is use barrier attacking weapons to destroy shields. Even if you're a healer, if the barrier comes up, go and help your team to break the shield. Breaking the barrier makes the game so much easier for world bosses and normal bosses or joint operation bosses. DPS weapons, the rule of thumb is the higher they charge, the better a rate of killing things. Except for obviously the healing items, that's different. They may charge really fast, but they're not very good at DPS. That's their downfall. Okay, their damage is lower because of it. I'm sure some crazy person will make DPS really OP just for the fun of it, but I'll leave them to do something like that. Okay. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions or anything at all, don't be shy to ask or leave me a comment after the stream, or even come to my Discord, which is on my homepage on YouTube, which will show you basically where my Discord is or whatever. Don't be shy. Love to help. Please leave a like or share. I'd really appreciate it. It lets me keep teaching and helping out people and just having fun. Anyways, this is King of Trying It, always trying it. Hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.